Hello and welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Let's begin. We gotta wake up now, Go said groggily. Yeah, I know, Ash replied, yawning and rubbing his eyes as he sat up. Pikachu, Ash's faithful partner, mimicked him with a soft Pika. Go's Rabbit yawned as well, following Go down the bunk's ladder. Hey, are you two up yet? A girl's voice floated through the door. Breakfast is ready. Chloe walked into the room, a hint of surprise on her face. Oh, you guys are up. Well, that's a first. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Go asked, slightly offended. Never mind, breakfast is ready, she replied before exiting the room. Well then, let's go, Go sighed. But Ash's mind seemed to be elsewhere. Ash. Go shouted, snapping Ash out of his thoughts. Sorry, what? Ash responded, looking a bit dazed. Go asked if he was okay, concerned for his friend. It wasn't like Ash to be so distracted. I'm fine. What were you saying? Ash replied. Well, breakfast is breakfast. All right. Ash exclaimed, hopping out of bed and immediately hitting his head on the bunk above him. Pika Pie. Pikachu said, looking over at his trainer in concern. I'm fine, Ash assured, rubbing his head before rushing out of the room, his partner right behind him. Go smiled a bit and shook his head, following them. At breakfast, Ash and Pikachu were eating at an incredible pace while Go took his time, scrolling through his Rotom phone. Suddenly, Go noticed the time and jumped up from his seat. Ash. We have to go, he exclaimed, rushing past a Mr. Mime, who was miming spinning around dizzily after being knocked over. Sorry. Go shouted, dragging Ash away. But I didn't get to finish my breakfast. Ash protested. Well, that's what you get for waking up late. Go replied, and Pikachu hopped onto Ash's shoulder, while Rabbit sighed and followed them. When they arrived at the lab, Professor Cerise welcomed them. Hello there, you two. Good morning, Professor. Go greeted. So, what are we doing today? He asked. I'm glad you asked. There's going to be a festival in honor of a man named Sir Aaron in the Kingdom of Rota. I thought you two could go there and check it out, and experience some ancient culture, Professor Cerise explained. Hearing this, Ash tensed. He suddenly remembered he needed to prepare. Oh no. I totally forgot. I wonder what Lucario's doing right now. Probably training. Ash. Go shouted again, snapping Ash out of his thoughts. Huh, what? Ash asked, looking around in surprise. That's the second time you've done that. What's on your mind? You can tell me, Go said, concerned. Oh, it's nothing. Sorry to worry you, Ash smiled. Okay, if you say so. Anyway, we have to go to Roda. The festival sounds amazing. Yeah, let's do it. Ash fist pumped, with Pikachu imitating him. Ash paused, thinking of something. I'll be right back, he said before rushing off. I wonder what that was about. What do you think, Rabbit? Go said suspiciously. R.A. Boot, Rabbit replied, shrugging its shoulders. Right. Go said, feeling a bit puzzled. A moment later, he made the logical choice, to follow Ash. Meanwhile, Ash made 2 calls. After finishing the first one, he dialed the second number. Hello? A man's voice answered. Hello Norman, it's good to see you again. Ash said. Ash, hello. To what do I owe this pleasure? Norman replied. Well, I was wondering if I could speak with May and Max. Of course. Hold on a moment, I'll get them, Norman said, disappearing from the screen for a bit. Ash, a young boy and girl asked in unison as they appeared on the screen. Hey there, May and Max. Ash smiled. It's so great to see you again, Ash. Max said. Yeah, Ash. May added. Anyways, I was wondering if you two could come to the festival in Rota. I already called Brock, and he agreed to meet a day early, Ash explained. Ash, that's a great idea. May exclaimed. Yeah, we can see Lady Eileen and Lucario again. Max said excitedly. Alright then, we can meet a day before the festival. See you guys then. Ash said. Bye Ash. See you later, the siblings said together. Go, watching from his hiding spot, thought, what was that about? How does Ash know them? I feel like I barely know anything about him. He had never really considered Ash's life before coming to the lab. Logically, he knew Ash had traveled and been a trainer much longer than he had, but he had never stopped to think about the people Ash might have met along the way. Ash hung up and sighed. Well, better get ready. I can bring that costume Eileen gave me. At least I'll get to see them again. Who knows, maybe I might even go to say hi to Mew, Ash said, smiling to himself as he walked back to the lab. Go thought, Mew. Ash knows Mew and he never told me. He knew my dream to catch Mew and never even thought to tell me he met it. Doesn't he trust me? He sighed sadly and made his way back to the lab. The next morning, Ash woke up early and decided to go outside to train. A battle challenge has been issued, Ash's Rotom phone buzzed. Ash looked around and spotted a girl in a black and white jacket and jeans. She had light blue hair and orangish red eyes. His Rotom phone asked, do you wish to accept or reject it? I accept, Ash replied. An official battle has been registered, the Rotom phone announced. A green Rotom drone flew down to them. Welcome, you have been approved for an official Pokemon World Coronation Series battle, it said. I'm Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town, Ash introduced himself. I'm Luna Marin from Pony Island, Alola, the girl responded. Today's battle will be a 3 versus the winner will be determined when all of one side's Pokemon are unable to battle. Please send out your first Pokemon in 3, 2, 1, the Rotom drone chirped. I choose you. Ash threw a Pokeball into the air. Lycanroc. Lycanroc, dusk form, appeared in a flash of light. Battle stance. Luna exclaimed, throwing her own Pokeball. Meowstic. A Meowstic, female, emerged. Quite an unusual Pokemon you have there, Luna remarked. It's one of a kind, Ash grinned. Battle begin, the Rotom drone announced. A while later, Go awoke and made his way outside after hearing shouts and sounds of battle. Realizing it was just Ash battling and not Team Rocket, he decided to watch. Lycanroc, use Rock Throw. Ash commanded. Aro. Lycanroc followed the command. Go thought to himself, wow, I didn't know Ash had a Lycanroc. That Lycanroc isn't in a midnight or midday form. Meowstic, dodge it. Luna commanded, but Meowstic wasn't fast enough, and rocks fell upon it. The Rotom drone flew over to Meowstic and announced, Meowstic is unable to battle. Will trainers please send out their next Pokemon? Luna thanked Meowstic before returning it. Let's go, she said, throwing another Pokeball. Froze. A Frosmoth appeared. Battle begin, the Rotom drone said. After an intense battle, Luna ordered, Frosmoth, use Icy Wind, and follow it up with Aurora Beam. Frosmoth flapped its wings, sending out a freezing gust of wind before shooting a multicolored beam. Lycanroc leapt to dodge but was hit by the tail end of the icy wind, making it falter. The Aurora Beam then struck its target, and the Rotom drone announced, Lycanroc is unable to battle. Will trainer please send out your next Pokemon? Ash returned Lycanroc, smiling. Thanks, you did great. Now, come on out. Roo. Rowlet emerged from the Pokeball. Wow Rowlet, you're awake. Ash said, surprised. Roo. Rowlet responded, flapping quickly. Go thought, I didn't know he had a Rowlet either. What did he mean by it being awake? Battle begin, the Rotom drone shouted. Frosmoth, use Bug Buzz. Luna exclaimed. Rowlet, use Leafage. Ash commanded. The two moves collided, causing a cloud of smoke to rise. Later, Luna commanded, Frosmoth, use Aurora Beam and end it. The Aurora Beam struck Rowlet, causing it to fall from the sky. Rowlet, are you okay? Ash exclaimed anxiously. Ro. Rowlet began to glow bright blue and transformed, growing larger with expanded wings. Drew! Ash exclaimed happily, Whoa Rowlet, you evolved. I thought Rotom said it was an Everstone. Go wondered, Rotom. Everstone. What is he talking about? Ash scanned it. Dartrix, the Blade Quill Pokemon. A grass and flying type. It throws its darts, which are very sharp feathers, at enemies. Quite image conscious, it's always preening, Ash's Rotom phone informed. Alright then, Dartrix, use Leaf Blade. Ash ordered. Counter it with Blizzard. Luna shouted. Dartrix flew up, circling down and rushing at Frosmoth with glowing blades on its talons. Frosmoth flapped its wings, using Blizzard to blow Dartrix off course. Finish it with Razor Leaf. Ash commanded. But the leaves had already made contact, and a second later, Frosmoth fainted. Frosmoth is unable to battle. Will trainer please bring out their last Pokemon, the Rotom drone announced. Luna returned Frosmoth. Now, come on out, my one and only. Luna shouted. Absol. The blue light revealed an Absol wearing a unique blue necklace, Luna's last Pokemon. Dartrix, you did a good job, now take a good rest, Ash said, returning Dartrix to its Pokeball. Luna and Go were both surprised. You're using another Pokemon? Luna asked curiously. Ash replied, Pikachu, let's do this. Pika Pika. Ash extended his arm, and Pikachu ran down it, jumping onto the ground in a battle stance. We're not done yet. Luna smirked. Key Stone, respond to my heart. Mega Evolve. Luna shouted. A light connected her and Absol, causing Absol to glow and change, growing larger and forming wings. The light faded to reveal Mega Absol. After a hard-fought battle, Ash said, Alright Pikachu, it's time to finish this. He slipped on his Z-Ring and Electrium Z, Ash's Z-Crystal began to change shape, forming a Pikachu's tail. He dropped his hat on Pikachu, who looked up at him with determination. Ash fist bumped Pikachu's paw and high-fived Pikachu's tail. Pikachu landed in a Z-move stance. Luna stared in shock at Ash's Z-Crystal, while Go was confused about what Ash was doing. Much bigger than a Thunderbolt, 10 million volt Thunderbolt. Yeah, this is much, much bigger, at super full power. Ash continued. Pikachu, use 10 million volt Thunderbolt. Ash yelled. Pika Ca Pika. Pika. Choo. Pikachu was surrounded by colorful lightning, crashing down on Mega Absol. A giant smoke cloud appeared, and when it faded, Absol lay on the ground, fainted and reverted to its original form. Luna and Go stared in amazement. They had never seen anything like this. Wow, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And to think Ash never told me about any of it. I wonder what else he hasn't told me yet, Go thought, feeling a pang of hurt. Absol is unable to battle. Pikachu is the winner, which means the victory goes to Ash Ketchum of Pallet Town. As a result of today's battle, there has been a change in the World Coronation Series rankings, the Rotom drone announced, snapping both Go and Luna out of their thoughts before flying off. Your latest ranking, 0937, Ash's Rotom phone buzzed. I've never seen a Z-Crystal change form. It was amazing, Luna praised, walking up to Ash to congratulate him. Thanks. Your Mega Absol was strong too. Let's battle again someday, Ash grinned. Definitely, Luna agreed, shaking hands before going on her way. Ash, that was a great battle. Go exclaimed. Go, when did you get there? Well, thanks anyways. Ash said, scratching the back of his head and grinning. The group returned to the lab and had breakfast. After finishing, they made their way to the lab where Professor Cerise greeted them. Hey there, you two. Are you ready to head to Rota? He asked. You bet, Professor. Go replied enthusiastically, while Ash nodded in agreement. The professor explained that Rota was located north of Pewter City and Empty Moon, and that Ren would drive them to Pewter City, from where they would walk to Rota. They headed outside and got into the car, with Professor Cerise wishing them to have fun and stay safe as they departed for Pewter City. About an hour later, they arrived in Pewter City and stopped at the Pokemon Center for a checkup for their Pokemon. While Ash made a phone call, Go secretly followed him, eager to learn more. Ash dialed a number, and a familiar voice answered. Oh, hey Ash. Where are you? It asked. Hey there, Brock. I'm in Pewter City. Have you already left? Ash inquired. Brock replied that he was about to leave and asked if Ash had contacted May and Max. Ash confirmed they were coming and asked if he should visit the gym. Brock suggested they might meet up on the way and would see each other in Rota anyway. Nurse Joy then called out that their Pokemon had finished their checkups. Ash said goodbye to Brock and walked over to where Go was waiting. Pikachu jumped onto Ash's shoulder, affectionately rubbing against him as Ash collected his Pokeball. Raboot jumped down next to Go, and he gathered his Pokeball as well. Thanks to Professor Oak's latest invention, the Nanodex, Ash was able to carry all his Pokemon, though Go had to wait for his own, which was still in development. They left the Pokemon Center and traveled until they reached the bridge connecting to Rota. The bridge was bustling with people and Pokemon, some dressed in old-fashioned costumes. Well, here we are, Rota. Go exclaimed happily, while Ash scanned the area, seemingly lost in thought. Go noticed Ash's distraction and asked what he was looking for. Ash brushed it off, suggesting they move on, and they crossed the bridge to reach Cameron Palace. Go marveled at its size, while Ash continued to look around, seemingly unaware of his friend's excitement. Suddenly, a figure rushed towards Ash, causing him to stumble. Ash! Are you okay? Go exclaimed, concerned. Master, you have returned, Lucario said as they regained their footing. Lady Eileen approached Ash, expressing her happiness to see him and explaining that Lucario had sensed his presence. Just then, Brock, May, and Max appeared, and Ash rushed to greet them. It's good to see you three as well, Lady Eileen added. Go, feeling a bit left out, reminded Ash of the introductions. Ash quickly introduced everyone, explaining his past travels with May, Max, and Brock, and how they had met Lady Eileen during a festival tournament. He hesitated before mentioning Lucario, then asked to speak privately with the group. Go stood aside, contemplating the situation. I don't really want to tell Go what else happened, okay? Ash said. May questioned his reasoning, and Ash explained that he didn't want to crush Go's dream of catching Mew by revealing that it couldn't leave. The group agreed to keep it a secret, allowing Ash to share it with Go when he felt ready. Afterward, they returned to Go, and Ash apologized for the private conversation. Lady Eileen mentioned she had preparations for the festival and suggested Lucario stay with Ash. They exchanged goodbyes, and as Lady Eileen left, May initiated a conversation. So, Ash and Go, how did you two meet? She asked. Ash grinned and recounted how they both jumped on Lugia's back when it appeared. May and Max were astonished, and Brock asked if it was the same Lugia. Ash admitted he wasn't sure, prompting Brock to explain their past adventures with Misty and Richie, which left everyone in awe. Suddenly, a girl's voice interrupted, claiming it was true. A boy's voice followed, teasing the girl for not sharing this information earlier. Everyone turned to see a girl with a blue hat and a boy with blonde hair. Dawn and Barry. Ash exclaimed. They greeted each other with excitement, and Ash introduced them to Go, explaining their shared journey through the Sinnoh region. Dawn mentioned she came to check out the festival, and Barry confirmed he had run into her on the way. Ash, feeling nervous, said he needed to help prepare for the festival, but Go insisted they should help too. Ash hesitated, suggesting they should relax and enjoy their stay instead. Go playfully challenged Ash's reasoning, encouraging him to enjoy the festival as well. Ash pretended not to hear him and said he needed to get going. Pikachu jumped on his shoulder, and Ash ran off toward the palace, with Lucario running alongside them. Go questioned the oddness of the situation, while Barry expressed his suspicion, insisting he would confront Ash if he was hiding something. May, feeling a bit nervous, suggested that Ash likely had his reasons for not sharing everything. They hadn't informed Go about Ash being last year's Aura Guardian, and since Dawn and Barry had just arrived, they were unaware as well. They decided to wait for Ash to share the information when he was ready. Meanwhile, Ash was with Lady Eileen, who handed him a dark blue cloak and matching hat adorned with the yellow Rota symbol. Ash thanked her, and she encouraged him to call her Eileen, reminding him of his heroic deeds. She informed him that dinner was approaching and that the chefs were preparing a small feast. Eileen mentioned that his room had been kept the same since he left and invited him to get ready before joining her in the dining hall. Ash nodded and headed to his room with Pikachu, while Lucario stayed behind with Eileen. Ash's room was spacious, featuring a queen bed and a golden decor. There was a small desk with a computer and a balcony with soft couches. In the closet, Ash discovered a secret panel that could only be opened using his aura. He used his aura to slide it open, revealing large double doors that led to a giant indoor forest. The underground space felt like the outdoors, with towering ceilings and a wide area, filled with trees bearing various berries. A cliff and a small waterfall flowed into a medium-sized lake with aqua-blue water, and there was a training battlefield in the middle of the open field. Excited, Ash released all his Pokémon. His Tauros enjoyed the open field, while his water Pokémon swam in the lake. Some Pokémon rested under the trees, while others, like Sceptile and Pidgeot, perched on branches. Charizard and Greninja were sparring, and Ash smiled, appreciating the sight of his Pokémon training and relaxing in their secret, soundproof sanctuary, known only to him and Lady Eileen. Pikachu jumped onto Ash's shoulder, and he decided to explore the forest. He heard a sound resembling rushing water and followed it to a small stream. As he continued uphill, the stream widened, and he heard faint cries. Following the sound, he discovered a river where several Pokémon were stranded on a rock in the middle. Determined to help, Ash formulated a plan. He reassured Pikachu that he had everything under control. Using his aura, he teleported back to the palace and summoned Snorlax, Baizel, and Lapras before returning to the river. He released Snorlax, who landed in the river, blocking the water's flow. Baizel dove underwater to assess the depth and returned to inform Ash that it was quite deep. Ash then called out Lapras, climbed aboard, and swam to the rock where the frightened Pokémon were. Ash comforted the Pokémon, assuring them he meant no harm. Gradually, they calmed down, and he helped them onto Lapras, making 3 trips to bring all the Pokémon safely to shore. As they reached land, the mysterious Pokémon dashed into the forest. Ash returned Snorlax, Baizel, and Lapras to their Pokeball and chased after them. He followed them into a clearing filled with flowers, where the Pokémon approached a cluster of blooms. When Ash tried to get closer, he collided with an invisible barrier. Confused, he instructed Pikachu to use Iron Tail, which cracked the barrier slightly. After a few more attempts, including a combination of moves, the barrier shattered, allowing Ash to reach the Pokémon. To his surprise, the clump of flowers turned out to be eggs. 2 were identical, while the third was a different color but shared the same pattern. Pikachu inspected the eggs, and Ash decided to use his aura to learn more about them. He concentrated and discovered they were Eevee eggs. When he asked the mystery Pokémon if the eggs belonged to them, they nodded. Ash realized that if these were their eggs, it meant they had evolved from Eevee, suggesting the existence of undiscovered Eeveelutions. Just then, a new Pokemon leaped down from the trees, revealing itself to be a Zeraora. Initially, it took a battle stance but relaxed upon recognizing Ash. Before Ash could speak, a voice called out, "Ash! Is it really you?" Shocked, Ash turned to see Dia. Meanwhile, the rest of the group was wondering about Ash's whereabouts. Go expressed concern over Ash's absence since he went to prepare for the festival, while May suggested he was likely just busy. "Something feels wrong," Go said. "Don't worry, Go, he'll be back," Dawn reassured him. "Yeah, he'll be back," Brock added. "If he doesn't come back, I'm going to have to find him," Barry exclaimed, causing everyone to sweat drop. Go thought to himself, how can I find out where Ash is? Oh. I know. Go. Go. Brock called, snapping him out of his thoughts. Oh. Sorry. What were you saying? Go asked. We were going to go eat. Are you coming? May inquired. Nah. I think I'll go to my room, Go replied, still focused on his plan. Okay, well see you tomorrow, May said as the group walked off. Go pondered, I have an idea to track Ash. The Rotom phone should be able to find any other Rotom phones nearby. Maybe I can find Ash. He turned on the app to track Ash, and a map appeared with several Rotom phones and their users' names. Go spotted one labeled Ash Ketchum and began walking in that direction. He soon reached a clearing and hid behind a tree, watching Ash sitting in front of something. Suddenly, a strange figure jumped down from the trees. Wow, a Zeraora! Ash exclaimed. So that's what it is. But what is it doing? Go wondered. The Zeraora took a battle stance but relaxed upon seeing Ash. I wonder what that's about. Go thought. Wait, aren't you? Ash started, but was interrupted. Ash. Is it really you? A voice Go didn't recognize called out. Dia. Ash yelled in surprise. Ash. It's good to see you, Dia said warmly. How are you here? Ash asked. Well, my Alola's been restored. I was battling with Tapu Koko when we did that thing again. It brought me to your Alola, so I figured I'd come to say hi, but I couldn't find you. The professor told me you'd gone back to Kanto, so I came to find you. When I heard about the festival, I thought you might be here. Zeraora said it could sense your aura, Dia explained. There was also someone else who wanted to see you, but I think we went too fast for him. He should be here right about. Ash. Pikachu, another unfamiliar voice called out. Rotom. Ash exclaimed as a red flying figure approached. Ash and Pikachu, I'm so glad to see you. Rotom said excitedly. Me too, Rotom. How is everyone? Ash asked. Pika Pika. Pikachu chimed in. Well, Kiawe became Olivia's assistant. Mallow's restaurant is doing better than ever. Sophocles' studies are going great. Lana has caught a Milotic, Alamamala, Lovedisk, and a Bruxish. Lily and Gladion are still looking for their dad, though, Rotom reported. What is that flying thing? Also, who are these people? And what are those Pokemon it's talking about? Go had many questions. Thanks for the report, Rotom. So, Dia, are you going to stick around for a while? Ash asked. I think I'll stay for the night, then I can go, Dia replied. Okay. You can stay at the palace. I can sneak you in and out. My room has a spare bed, Ash offered. Are you sure? What if you get caught? Dia asked. Ash smirked. Don't worry. I have a plan. Okay, if you say so, Dia said. Suddenly, Ash felt a tug at his pants. He looked down to see one of the mysterious Pokemon pointing at the eggs, then back at him. You want me to have the eggs? Ash asked, surprised. They all nodded. He carefully placed 2 of the eggs in his backpack and picked up the silver one. All the Pokemon he rescued looked up at him expectantly. You want to come with me? Ash asked. They nodded again, and he caught them all. He let them out and said, Rotom, can you scan them? Beep. 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 No data. No data. Rotom exclaimed. Ash frowned and took out his Rotom phone to scan them, receiving the same result. So that means your new Pokemon. Amazing. Ash exclaimed. Ash discovered new Pokemon. That's incredible. I wish I could discover a new species, Go thought. Ash, why don't you name them? Dia suggested. Okay, Ash agreed. That will be Myrex, he decided, noting that this one claimed not to be an Eeveelution. That will be Galaxian. That will be Aeroeon. That will be Nimbian. That will be Skycian. That will be Breezian. That will be Scycian, Ash finished. That's quite the crew you've got there, Dia commented. Data updated. Rotom announced. Ash smiled and returned the newly discovered Pokemon. He named them. Wow, I wish I were him, Go thought. Pikachu hopped onto Ash's shoulder as they all headed back to the palace, with Go following closely behind. When they reached the edge of the forest, Ash said, what I'm about to do might surprise you guys. Ash, I've met so many Ultra Beasts that I can't be surprised, Rotom replied. Ash, you've surprised me so many times that I don't know if you can do anything else, Dia added. Well then, everyone hold hands, Ash instructed. He held Dia and Rotom, while Dia held Zeraora and Pikachu perched on Ash's shoulder. Ash concentrated hard, and then they teleported, leaving Go alone. What? Go exclaimed. Where did they go? He asked himself. He took a final look around and then headed back to his room. He's so lucky to stay in a palace, Go thought. Meanwhile, with Ash, they teleported to his room. What in the world? Dia said, astonished. Does not compute. Does not compute. How did you do that? Rotom exclaimed. Well, I used my aura to teleport us to my room. Anyway, I have to go eat dinner, but I'll bring something back for you before I go. Diameter Zeraora can have the Pokemon food in that cabinet. They are all labeled for different types, Ash explained before teleporting to the dining hall. All the food was set out, and no one was there. Ash picked 5 different dishes and 2 desserts, then teleported them back to his room. Wow, Ash, you're back already. Dia said as Zeraora enjoyed his Pokemon food. I brought back some food, Ash replied, setting the meal on the table. Well, I'll see you later. He walked out of the room while Dia finished eating. As Ash entered the dining area, he saw Lady Eileen talking to Jenny, her maid. Oh, there you are, Ash. I was wondering where you went, Lady Eileen said. Sorry, I went to train, but I lost track of time, Ash replied. They enjoyed their dinner, and Ash returned to his room, where Dia was just finishing up. Dia and Rotom, do you think you could help me feed all my Pokemon? Ash asked. Of course, Ash. Rotom replied. Sure, Ash. Where are they? Dia inquired. Ash led them to the closet and used his aura to open the panels, and they walked through the double doors. Wow, this place is amazing. Dia exclaimed. Amazing. Rotom echoed, starting to take pictures. Ash released his new Pokemon and carefully placed the eggs on the ground. Some of his Pokemon curiously approached the eggs and gathered leaves, branches, and flowers to make a nest. Others collected berries and offered them to the new Pokemon. Ash went over to a shelf, retrieved a bag of Pokemon food, and began pouring it into bowls. Rotom and Dia helped. Then Ash called out, Bulbasaur. A small, green dinosaur Pokemon with a bulb on its back came running. Bulbasaur, use purple flare. Ash commanded. Rotom, Dia, and Zeraora looked at Ash with curiosity. Bulbasaur concentrated hard, and a purple seed shot out of its back, soaring high into the air. It exploded into purple powder, attracting a swarm of Pokémon, including Ash's 30 Tauros. They eagerly ate the food, and Ash poured more varieties of Pokémon food, instructing, Bulbasaur, use orange flare. The same process occurred, but this time the seed was orange, creating an orange powder explosion. This continued with different colors until all the Pokémon were fed, with Ash ensuring the new Pokémon were fed separately. After a while of playing with the Pokémon, they all settled down for the night, with Dia in the spare bed and Zeraora on the floor. Rotom found a cozy spot in a little wooden chair. The next morning, Ash quietly snuck food up to his room for Diameter. Once everyone finished eating, they fed Ash's Pokémon and went for a walk. After an hour, Dia decided it was time to head home. Well, Ash, I should be going. I'm not sure if it will work unless we're in Alola, so I will go there just in case. Rotom, do you want to come? Dia suggested. No, I think I will stay with Ash. I have a high chance of encountering rare, legendary, mythical, or undiscovered Pokémon if I stay with him, Rotom replied. Wow, Rotom. Well, I better get going. Until we meet again, Dia waved goodbye, and Zeraora joined Ash and Rotom in waving back. As they disappeared into the distance, Ash remarked, well, Rotom, you were right. You probably have a better chance of meeting rare Pokémon with me. Ash smiled. And why do you say that? Rotom asked. Because I think I'm going to pay Mew a visit. It's probably bored and wants to play, Ash grinned. Meanwhile, in the cafeteria of the Pokémon Center, Go was busy explaining what he had observed the previous day when he spied on Ash. I saw undiscovered Pokémon, and then a strange Pokémon called Zeraora appeared, along with a man and a peculiar flying red thing that talked. It looked like a Pokédex but could talk, Go explained. Brock pondered for a moment before saying, the flying thing you saw might have been Rotom Dex. What? Go asked. It's a Rotom in a specially designed Pokédex made by the Alola professor, Brock clarified. Oh, okay. Anyway, the man and Ash talked like they knew each other and wanted to catch up. Then the man said something strange about, my Alola, and, your Alola, Go continued. That is strange, Dawn agreed. He also named the undiscovered Pokémon. Before we came here, Ash made a phone call, and after he hung up, he mentioned saying hi to Mew. Go noted. Dawn and Barry exchanged shocked and confused looks, while the Hoenn group watched uncomfortably, each lost in their thoughts. I'm going to find him for not telling me he met mythical Pokémon. Barry exclaimed. Wow. Dawn responded. Later, Ash, Rotom, Lucario, and Pikachu were on their way to meet the others in the park. Hey guys. Ash shouted when his friends came into view. Ash. There you are. Dawn exclaimed. Rotom Dex. Brock called out. Hello, Brock. Good to see you again. Rotom buzzed. Hello. Go said. Oh yeah. Sorry, everyone. Dawn, Barry, Go, Max, and May, this is Rotom Dex. He was with me in Alola. Rotom, these are some of my other friends that I've traveled with. Ash introduced. They all exchanged greetings. So, what should we do? May asked. Let's go shopping. Dawn suggested. Yeah. May agreed. No. Brock, Max, and Go protested. Ash sweat dropped. 2 hours later, Dawn emerged from a clothing store called Steelin' Sylvian, while May had wandered off to check out a jewelry store called Esper Accessories. The boys groaned as they saw the girls return with more shopping bags. Ash checked his watch. I have to go now. There is somewhere I need to be, Ash said. Ah. But we're not done. Dawn complained. Sorry. Come on, Rotom and Lucario. Ash walked off with Pikachu on his shoulder, followed by Rotom and Lucario. Go raised an eyebrow. Anyone else find that suspicious? Nah. He probably just has something to do, Max replied. Plus, the girls won't let us leave. When the girls entered the next shop, Go seized the opportunity and fled, running toward where Ash had gone. With Ash, he made his way toward the palace. Upon entering, he walked to his room. Pikachu jumped off his shoulder and onto the bed, while Lucario sat beside him. Ash retrieved some berries from a box on a chair and placed them in his backpack. Food, check. Now for a first aid kit. Ash searched through the drawers until he found a white box with a red cross. Okay, now for potions. Ash reached up to a cupboard and brought down a small box, grabbing a few different potions to add to his backpack. Alright, let's go. Pikachu hopped back onto his shoulder, Lucario stood up beside him, and Rotom followed them out of the room and outside. Go watched as Ash, Rotom, and Pikachu exited the palace and walked into the forest, following closely behind them. 8 hours later, Ash, Rotom, and Pikachu stood in front of the tree of beginning, with Go hiding a few feet back behind a tree. Well, let's go. Ash declared. The trio ventured into the tree, with Go trailing closely behind. Ash used his aura to signal the tree of his presence, and since Ash had saved the tree before, it recognized him and did not react negatively. When they reached the center of the tree, they found Mew peacefully sleeping. Mew! Ash exclaimed, waking the pink cat. Who, what, where, when, why, it shouted, sounding surprised. Ash cringed slightly. Ash! Lucario! Pikachu! Mew called out joyfully. Hello once more, Mew, Lucario greeted. Pika Pika Pikachu Chu Pai Pika. Pikachu chimed in. Mew flew in circles around them, giggling. What brings you here? She asked. Well, we thought we'd say hi. Let me introduce you to Rotom Dex. He was with me in Alola. Ash said, gesturing to Rotom. Hi. Mew replied. Wow. Hi. You're the mythical Pokemon Mew. I have to get pictures. Rotom exclaimed, now flying in circles around Mew, capturing photos. Mew got dizzy and landed on Ash's head. What should we do? Oh, I know. Let's go to the play area, Pikachu. Mew suggested, once again flying in circles around them. Pika. Pikachu Pai Pikachu. Pikachu responded enthusiastically. Let's go. Mew said, leading the way down a path in the trees, with Ash, Pikachu, Lucario, and Rotom following closely behind. Go's POV. I was hiding behind a crystal, trying to process what I had just seen. I couldn't believe I had seen Mew. It was just as amazing as it had been at Professor Oak's summer camp. I wished I could show myself and interact with it like Ash did. If Mew liked me, maybe it would let me catch it. Then my dreams would come true, and I could create a new goal. Wait, what am I doing? I have to follow them or I'll lose them. Let me think. Right. They went that way. I ran towards a path, trying to catch up with them. Mew finally made her appearance in the story, and I was excited to share this moment. Mew playfully reminded me that she was featured in my other book, Pokemon Academy Master Class, where she was always present. As Ash, Lucario, Rotom, Pikachu, and Mew arrived at Mew's play area, Pikachu recognized the place he had been before. Ash looked around in awe at the grassy area filled with trees and sparkling blue crystals that illuminated the surroundings. Toys were scattered everywhere, and Mew began tossing them at her friends, who eagerly caught and examined them. The group played with the toys for a while, and Pikachu chased Mew until he accidentally tumbled off a small cliff. Mew giggled, teasing him about falling for the same trick. She then led everyone to a tree with a glowing circle on it. Pikachu jumped through the circle, and Ash, curious, followed suit, peering into a tunnel filled with green bubbles rising from the walls. Pikachu waved from atop one of the bubbles, and Ash joined him, jumping onto a large bubble that lifted him higher. Rotom soon followed, and Lucario cautiously peeked through the circle, intrigued by the scene. Suddenly, Mew heard a twig snap and turned to see a boy with black and red hair and a gray and red outfit watching them from behind a boulder. Go observed the playful scene with envy as Mew engaged with Ash and the others. He saw his chance to approach Mew and stepped forward cautiously. When he accidentally stepped on a twig, Mew turned to look at him, tilting her head in curiosity. Gathering his courage, he greeted her softly, expressing his desire to be friends. Mew remained silent, prompting Go to offer her some Pokemon food from his pocket. As she flew forward to eat, he was startled by a feminine voice asking who was there. Realizing it was telepathy, he introduced himself. Mew recalled a memory of him from when he was a child at Professor Oak's summer camp, where he had watched her battle a Nidoking. Go felt embarrassed but explained how witnessing her had inspired him to dream of meeting her ever since. Mew giggled and welcomed him warmly, and they shared berries and apples while chatting and playing with the toys. After a fun time, Mew mentioned she needed to leave. Go hesitated, hoping she might travel with him. Mew considered it but ultimately said she couldn't join him due to an idea she had that might not work out if she left. Go felt disappointed but accepted her decision, sensing a mixture of sadness and happiness in her expression before she disappeared through the circle in the tree. Go had waited a while after Mew left and then decided to follow it. He stuck his head through the circle and marveled at the giant, floating bubbles. When he touched one, it felt squishy, and he jumped onto a big one, rising up quickly. Meanwhile, Ash, Pikachu, Lucario, Rotom, and Mew had been ejected from the bubble tunnel, as Mew had dubbed it. They emerged from a tree that looked just like the one in Mew's play area, landing on a grassy patch high up in the tree of beginning. Amazing! Ash said, taking in the beautiful view. What now? Ash asked, noticing Mew had been quiet for a while. Mew? He prompted. Mew snapped out of her thoughts. What? She asked. Are you okay? He inquired. I'm fine, she replied, waving off the question. Ash shrugged and asked, so what should we do now? Mew thought for a moment before saying, I guess you should go back to the palace. It's getting dark. They had indeed lost track of time. Come on, she said, leading them to a tree facing the one they had just come out of. It had an identical circle on it. Mew stuck her head through, and it was the same as the other tunnel, except these bubbles went down. Cool! Ash exclaimed. He jumped onto a bubble, followed by Pikachu, Lucario, and Rotom, who flew to them. Mew followed up the rear, and they were shot out into the play area by a tree opposite the one they first entered. All right. Let's go back to the center of the tree. Mew led them away. Go had been ejected from a tree that looked just like the one he had entered. He saw Ash, Pikachu, Rotom, Lucario, and Mew admiring the view. He quietly crept behind a clump of trees, listening to their conversation but unable to hear what they were saying. After a while, Mew led them to an identical tree opposite the one that had released them. Ash peeked his head in and then disappeared, followed by Pikachu, Lucario, Rotom, and then Mew. Go waited for a moment before sticking his head through the circle. It looked the same as the one he had come in earlier, but the bubbles went down. He jumped onto one and emerged from an identical tree, just in time to see the end of Mew's tail disappear around a corner. From Go's perspective, he followed Mew. When he turned the corner, he saw them far ahead. He waited until they turned another corner before running after them. After several twists and turns, they finally emerged into the place where he first saw Mew. Ash was about to say goodbye when Mew asked, "Can I travel with you?" Those words shattered Go's heart. So that was why she couldn't travel with him. She wanted to be with someone else, Ash. What? Ash exclaimed. Pikachu shouted in surprise, and even Rotom was taken aback. I want to travel with you. Mew insisted. Why? Ash asked, puzzled. Because I want to explore the world, and who better to do it with than you? Mew exclaimed. Ash frowned, expressing concern about his mom's reaction to catching a legendary Pokemon. Mew did a flip in the air. It'll be fine, she assured him. Ash sighed, alright. But if she gets mad, it's your fault. He took out a Pokeball, and Mew tapped her head against it, getting sked in. The Pokeball didn't shake even once. Go felt a wave of jealousy wash over him. Ash had achieved his dream. Suddenly, the Pokeball flew open, and Mew flew out. Geez, it's cramped in there. Now I see why Pikachu likes it on your shoulder, she exclaimed, landing on Ash's head. Maybe I should go undercover and transform into something. They all exchanged glances. Pikachu began making suggestions, but Mew dismissed them one by one until she found the perfect form. Mew glowed and transformed, her fur changing color and her ears becoming pointed. A purloin? Ash asked. Mew giggled, it's perfect. Ash rolled his eyes, and they left through another tunnel. Go followed them through winding tunnels and steep slopes until they finally emerged from the tree. He hid behind a tree and watched them head back through the forest. By the time they reached the palace, it was 3 a.m. Ash walked through the palace gates while Go stayed behind, returning to his room. The next morning, Ash woke up bright and early. He noticed Pikachu, Mew, Lucario, and Rotom were still sleeping, so he went downstairs without them. In the dining hall, he found a feast laid out. Lady Eileen and Jenny entered the room. Oh, Ash. Lady Eileen greeted him. Good morning, Eileen, Ash replied. She informed him that the festival would begin at 11 o'clock, with the tournament starting at 1, Ash nodded in understanding. After breakfast, Ash brought some Poke Puffs back to his room, waking up Mew, Pikachu, Lucario, and Rotom. Pikachu and Mew eagerly devoured the treats while Rotom and Lucario helped Ash feed his other Pokemon. Soon, it was time for the festival to begin. As the festivities kicked off, Ash met up with his friends but noticed that Go seemed downcast. The group set off down a street filled with games and snacks. Ash hung back with Go, asking, "Hey, what's wrong?" Go glared at him and sped up, leaving Ash behind. Well, that was weird, Ash remarked. Pikachu nodded in agreement. I don't think so. I mean, you basically stole his dream, Mew said, her voice barely audible as she remained invisible on Ash's head. What? Ash asked, confused. His dream was to catch me. He told me, Mew explained. When? Ash inquired. When you went through the first bubble tunnel. I stayed behind. He gave me Pokemon food and told me he saw me when he was little. He mentioned his dream was to meet me again, and he was obviously hoping to catch me. But when he offered that I travel with him, I decided to travel with you. Mew concluded. But how did he get to the tree? He must have followed us, Pikachu said. Ash sighed as they walked into the crowd to find their friends. Ash met up with his friends, and they played games and enjoyed snacks. They all decided to rent traditional clothes and PRD costumes. Ash, May, Max, and Brock chose costumes similar to the ones they had last year, with a few changes. Soon, it was time for the tournament. Everyone headed to Cameron Palace for the event. Upon entering, they were greeted by a large crowd. Ash discreetly slipped away to prepare, with only Go noticing his departure. He wandered down an empty hall and through a pair of double doors. After navigating several twists and turns, he arrived in a spacious room where Lady Eileen and Jenny awaited him. Go had followed him and peeked into the room to see what was happening. Here's your outfit and, of course, the staff, Lucario said, handing him the staff. Ash accepted the outfit and quickly went to change. He fed all his Pokemon lunch with the help of Rotom, Pikachu, Lucario, and Mew. Afterward, he returned to meet Eileen and Jenny. Right. First, you'll be introduced as last year's Aura Guardian, and then you'll watch from the top box with us. When the time comes, you'll announce the winner. Eileen explained. Ash nodded in understanding as they walked toward the door, and Go hurriedly left. Meanwhile, Ash's friends were milling around in the large crowd. Hey, has anyone seen Ash? Dawn asked. Everyone shook their heads. Now that you mention it, I don't think I've seen Go around either, Barry noted. The Hoenn crew thought to themselves that he must be getting ready, being last year's Aura Guardian. A while later, Lady Eileen stepped out onto the balcony overlooking the room. May I please have your attention, she called out. Moments later, Go found his friends. Hey guys, he said. Oh, hey Go. Where've you been? May asked. Oh, I was just in the bathroom, he lied. Everyone exchanged glances. Oh, okay. Well, it's good that you got here in time. Lady Eileen is about to make an announcement, Dawn said. The room gradually fell silent at Lady Eileen's words. Now, first I would like to thank you all for coming. I would also like to introduce you to last year's Aura Guardian. Lady Eileen stepped aside as Ash approached the balcony, holding Sir Aaron's staff. He then performed the pose of the Guardian, raising the staff above his head in Sir Aaron's signature pose. Ash Ketchum. Cheers erupted from the crowd, some for him being the Aura Guardian, some for his recognition as Alola's champion, and others simply out of politeness. Ash's friends cheered the loudest, and Go joined in, though with a hint of resignation. For those of you participating in the battle contest to determine this year's Aura Guardian, I'll explain the rules, Ash announced, prompting even more cheers, especially from the competitors. It'll be simple elimination one-on-one battles, and then for the last 4 competitors, it'll be a battle royale. The cheers grew louder, with even those not competing clapping in excitement. Without further ado, let the battle contest begin. After the announcement, those who were going to participate in the battle contest made their way to the stadium to register. Ash's friends found him a while later after he'd come down from the balcony. Brock remarked that it seemed they had made Ash something of a host since he was last year's Aura Guardian. Barry playfully accused Ash of withholding information, while May and Max chimed in, recalling how impressive Ash had been during the last contest. Ash shrugged it off, claiming it was nothing special. Dawn asked if Ash would be judging the battle contest, to which he explained that the battles would be one-on-one until the finals, so there wasn't much to judge. However, he would be in the VIP box and could help his friends get up there too. Everyone cheered and began chatting excitedly. Go, lost in thought, caught Ash's attention. Pikachu jumped off Ash's shoulder to play with the other Pokémon, while Mew floated invisibly nearby, feeling guilty about Go's unhappiness. Ash approached Go and apologized for catching Mew. Go looked down, acknowledging that it wasn't entirely Ash's fault and that he had made a big deal about it. He expressed his feelings of being upset about Ash hiding things from him. Ash apologized again, explaining that he either didn't think it was important or wanted to keep Mew undisturbed at the tree. Go nodded, understanding Ash's perspective. He then reassured Ash that he could always play with Mew or study her anytime, which made Ash smile. Dawn interrupted them, announcing that the battle contest was starting soon. Ash asked his friends if anyone was entering, and Dawn, May, and Barry all expressed their excitement to compete. Brock and Go decided they would rather watch. Ash encouraged the 3 competitors to get registered while the rest of them headed for the stands. As they entered the VIP box, Lady Eileen greeted them warmly. Ash inquired about the number of competitors, and Lady Eileen informed him that there were 32 competitors and about 28 matches, followed by a battle royale. The group chatted until the announcer's voice boomed throughout the stadium, signaling the start of the annual battle contest. The audience cheered as the matchups were revealed. The battles continued throughout the day, with Dawn, Barry, and May winning their matches. According to the chart, Dawn would be battling May the next day, and the winner would face Barry. After the day's battles, the group met up by the palace. Ash congratulated his friends on their victories, and they all agreed that a good night's sleep was essential for the semifinals. Barry confidently declared he would win regardless of who he faced, prompting Dawn and May to exchange determined looks and challenge him. Hi, to anyone who's still following this story, I have some news. This story will be getting discontinued, but it will be rewritten. It's been a long time since I started it, and the plot never had a clear direction, so the rewrite will introduce new plot points, and the overall story will likely be quite different. I plan to incorporate elements from the original story, which is why it's classified as a rewrite. I've developed the story outline, but I haven't written any main details yet, so it may take some time before it's published. For those still interested in the premise, I hope to share it eventually. The new series, titled Guardian of Legends, will consist of 3 books and will feature many new characters. Thank you for your support. This story has meant a lot to me, and I'm grateful that so many people enjoyed it. Until next time.